Hello guys, welcome back to this video tutorial on RESTful web services. In this video we will see how to create a web service that allows to download a file from a server. This file will be related to an object stored into a database, and the client application will send to the web service the ID of this object through a PathParam. Let's create the method of the web service for the download of the file. We can copy and paste the code of this method. This method will download a file whose file name is stored into the logo property of the object whose ID is sent as a PathParam here. First of all, this method will check if into the database exists an object with the requested ID. If so, if exists an object with this ID, the method will read from the file system of the server the file and store into the file input stream object its input stream. If this operation is okay, so the file exists, this method will return to the client application the file input stream of the file as application octet stream media type, and in the header of the response the name of the file, of the original file on the server, read it by directly by the logo property of the company object with the OK status code. If in the database doesn't exist an object with the requested ID, so the company object is now here, this method will return to the client application a status code of 452 and a simple error message here. If there has been an error during the reading of the file here, so the file input stream is null here, the method will return to the client application an error is HTTP status code of 451, and these are the error message. As you can see, in this case, the format of the data that will be sent back to the client application has been set up here directly in the response object, and not here with a produces annotation. In this case, in fact, we have two different formats between the case of correct download of the file and the two cases of error, where we are sending a simple text plan to the client application. Now let's create the getLogoStream method into the company repository class. We can copy and paste the code of this method. This method, first of all, will check if the company object has a not null and not empty value, for the logo property, where it will read the name of the file to download. If the name is not null, it try out to read this name using the absolute path on the server, composed by the concatenation of the path of the folder of the files uploaded on the server, that is the same path of the files to download, and the name of the file. If this operation has success, the method will return the file input stream of the file. In case the file doesn't exist on the server, it will return null. And if the logo property of the company object has a null value, it will return null as well. Okay, now the web service is ready. We can restart our application. Run on Glassfish. Okay, now we can send a request from Postman. Here the relative path to send is logo followed by the ID of the object. To test this web service, we need an object with an associated file. Let's see the object in the database, calling an existing web service. We can see that the object with ID equal to 2 has the file finish.log associated. Let's see if this file is in the folder. Yes, this is the folder of the server in this moment. So we can use the object with ID equal to 2 for our test. Let's create a new request, copying the first part of the URL. The request is a get. The relative path was logo, followed by 2, the ID value of the object. Now, instead of send, we have to click on send and download, because we want to download the file. Okay, we are downloading a file whose name is now response. Let's save this file. Let's open again. This was the file that we have just now stored here in this folder. And this is the content of the file, only a word finish. Let's see if it's the same file here. Okay, the original file has only finish. Here in the header of the response, we can find the name of the original file, finish.log, and the status code is 200. Let's see what happens if we change name to the folder on the server here, so that the web service will not find it. And then again Let's send the request with send. Okay, in the body there is this error message, file of company with ID equal to 2 not found, and status code 451. As you can see, it's the values returned by this statement. Now again, okay. Now let's try out to send a request for an object that doesn't exist into the database, for example 20. Okay, another message error, but the status code is 452. It is the case of this statement. Okay, that's all. This was the last video of this video tutorial. Thank you very much to everybody for your attention. Goodbye.